Hi guys, welcome to Interior Insights. I'm Jane and we are standing in front of a 200-year-old historic villa that has been completely transformed into a modern, bold and colorful loft. It is absolutely insane and I can't wait to explore it together with you. Join me and let's go inside. This historic building has been built over 200 years ago and it still exists today, only today these walls hold very different functions than they used to. The entire villa is over 120 square meters large, but in my opinion it feels much larger than that because there's 3 large main rooms accompanied by a few other ones, and every room just has its entirely different style and atmosphere. Also, if you want to help me in the channel, go and subscribe right now so that we can continue to show you these incredible spaces like this one today. And if you want more interior design content and behind the scenes update, follow us on Instagram and subscribe to our newsletter where we post behind the scenes content and stories you won't find anywhere else. The owner and designer of this incredible place is Dimi Vesos, a HiFi expert, and has his incredible collection of different HiFi setups and of art and also interiors. Maybe you can remember, but almost 1 year ago, we already filmed this villa while it had a completely different design. During the renovation process, Dimi didn't decide to just throw out all of his furniture, but he kept his favorite items. And so if you do remember, you can see that a lot of his artwork still is the same. And I think that is really interesting to just have some favorite items and keep them throughout your renovations and your design journey, because this just makes it much more personal. And I can remember a lot of these artworks from last time we visited. So over here, we are already in the entryway, and this room is just a small example of what you will see in this incredible house. The ceilings are super high to all directions. There's gorgeous historic windows where the green nature is flooding in. And the lower half of this room, so the paneling, has been colored in this deep dark indigo blue, which just creates a very rich and in-depth atmosphere. To give the area some warmth, there is a large carpet on the floor, and opposite the door, under the window, there's a sofa standing that has this very bold black and white stripes, and it just creates a very graphic design. And to further add some depth in this design, there's large black and white artworks of musicians hanging around, or a super cool sketch that looks like a first draft. And to perfectly set the atmosphere, there's green plants that make the space come to life. And before I show you my favorite room inside this house, we are already standing in the lounge area. And what is so incredible about the space is that it is a large square room that has a lot of windows to one side. Also, I really love all of the industrial details that we can find throughout this modern and playful design. So in front of the red wall, there actually is a motorized bicycle standing that just has all of these strong metallic shapes and forms, and it is complete clash with the rest of the colorful design. But I always love it whenever there's some pieces that contradict some of the rest of the design, and this just also is very personal to me because my dad used to also always collect motorbikes and always put them inside different apartments. And so I always love it whenever you take a regular object and put it somewhere where it's not supposed to go, because this just always creates the most interesting designs. Hold up, let's do a quick analysis of this incredible color palette in this gorgeous living room. So what is so unique about this living room is that it feels like 2 completely different worlds. 2 walls are actually painted in the super dark navy blue, and you have all of these really dark, calm, colder colors happening. And on the other side, you have the super strong red, orange terracotta walls with orange and black accents, and it seems super strong. There's a lot going on. And what basically happens inside this room is your brain reads them as 2 different atmospheres. So the blue color and the blue walls, they make the space feel larger, and they visually recede, meaning that they make the space feel much more grand and at the same time really calm. while the two reddish terracotta orange walls visually come closer and create this really like cozy and scenic and serene atmosphere where you just want to cuddle up with your friends. And what is so incredible is that you have both of these things happening at the same time in a living room. When people subscribe to my newsletter, I always ask them what their biggest challenge is when it comes to interior design. And I used to always think it's something like budget or not knowing where to start. But actually, like 99% of people struggle the most with color, because color is one of the ways that just instantly shapes and creates the entire atmosphere of your space, and it can make or break any single room. So I've collected the 5 mistakes that 99% of people make when it comes to choosing color, and I've created a free little PDF guide for you that also shows you how to fix these problems like an interior designer would. If your color game is already perfect, then congratulations, you are one of the few. If not, you can go grab your free copy right now. It won't be free forever, so go and be fast. And the way that you can do this is by taking out your phone, opening the camera up, and then pointing it at this QR code over here, and this will like scan it and redirect you directly to the free color guide. So depending on which side of the room you are and depending in which direction you are looking, the room can feel entirely drenched in these warm red, orange tones, or be complemented by this dark indigo blue wall color. And I think that this is just such a cool concept. Of course, you can also stand in the room and see both of the worlds collide with each other at the same time. But I really love this unconventional design, and you know I'm obsessed with colors, and whenever people dare to give their walls some color, so this is truly unique. Also, if you're interested, I am developing a color course right now that will teach you how to work with color and how to find your own color palette. Now, what I think is so interesting about this lounge area is that it just connects these two different worlds with each other, but all of the interior and the art that is inside it just really connects this warm and cold areas. And so we have these incredible compositions. And of course, the heart of the room, the 4 different lounge chairs that are standing in the center of the room that are zoned by a large fluffy carpet. They go with every single wall and they just tie the space together. And the designer and owner, Dimi, he uses this room as well for a lot of camera work. So it is really cool because he actually can use the different walls and just create these different color worlds all within one room. I'm super excited to be here again and see how this space has transformed compared to how it was last time.
Thanks for being again here after 1 year. It's also very special for me because it's a big transformation, and all started from one day to another where I just thought, okay, I want new colors, and started placing everything in the other room, started painting. I wanted to bring the interior part more to life in here. And yeah, to my opinion, I think it's pretty nice combined electronics and interior. That it is an opinion to combine both, to have a nice listening experience and a cozy feeling. Anybody of you, if you have questions in these 2 topics, interior and HiFi, just come over to my channel.
Yes, definitely go and check out his channel. And now let's go and have a look at this incredible place. Now, when Dimi designed this place, he really wanted to create a place of warmth and fun where you always feel good as soon as you enter. And he really managed to do this. And so there's a very vivid and bright color palette. There's a lot of different colors being used. I absolutely love all of the yellow and orange accents that just really add some spice and sparkle to the design. And everything is very laid back. The sofa area and everything is very low profile and casual. But at the same time, because this is a historic building and because the rooms are very classical and symmetrical to every single axis, he tried to still keep some formal aspects. And so the sofa area also has 2 axes and is right in the center of the room. or the wall opposite of all of the windows is also has a very symmetrical composition. So in the center there's these sound absorbers that just create this incredible sound that we have here. And I love that he put two of the same artworks on both sides, because this just creates a very striking balance and is at the same time something very unconventional to do. And at the same time, to create the best sound possible, the ceiling is also covered in these very large sound absorbers. And usually sound absorbers are always in the way of great design because they are not very beautiful, but here they really give the room yet another source of repetition and structure, and I really love that. Also, what I really love is that you have these very large historical doors that you can just open, and then the energy from one room goes into the next. And even though all of the rooms have different color palettes, when these spaces are connected to each other, they really complement each other, and it just looks absolutely beautiful. And I love it whenever design isn't just thought in small rooms or single boxes, but if there actually is a cohesive design and color story through the entire space. Now, my absolute favorite room inside this villa, even though it's very hard to pick a favorite because they are all so unique and gorgeous. But here is the kitchen, and some of you might remember how the kitchen looked last time we came. Here we come into the kitchen. Because this is a studio, this is not a fully equipped kitchen, but it's just a place where you can relax. And the transformation is absolutely incredible. So the walls are still kept in white, but here we have a small kitchen niche that is very simple but looks super cool. So the kitchen panels are made from stainless steel, but around it we have large slabs of marble that just hug and frame the entire stainless steel facade. And this just creates a very polished and curated look. And then as a flexible kitchen extension, there's a stainless steel wagon that you can just put there when you need to. And there's a lot of different cups and ceramics being stored. At the same time, because the kitchen isn't too big, it gives you a lot of flexibility and you can move it away if you need to. And my favorite part of the design is that we have this super large artwork of a woman on top of the kitchen. And it is framed in this neon pink plexiglass frame. I've never seen a frame like this before, but it just really makes the artwork pop. And as soon as you enter this room, it just locks your eyes in and draws you in. And so this room just has a really fun color palette that is quite minimal and clean, but I just love all of the pink accents. Because whenever a table has color, it just acts as a perfect backdrop for everything that you put on it. If it is a vase, if it is just a bowl full of fruit, everything looks incredibly curated. And to balance this very playful feminine energy of this room, there's some super industrial chairs standing around it that are made from these metal wires, and they just give the entire room its industrial and more rough flair. And of course, design isn't just about all of the large items, but it also is all about smaller items. And so I absolutely love that in this kitchen we have all of these incredible ceramic pieces, and each of them is completely different and has its own color palette or print or different lines or zigzags on it. And they really just create this very in-depth design, and it's super fun to go through them and look at all of the different colors. Now, this room has its own dedicated purpose, and that is to listen to music and enjoy it and to just relax and have a great time. And you can see that all of the different rooms have entirely different color worlds and designs, but at the same time, the design still is very cohesive because there's a lot of materials that are repeated throughout the entire design. So there's a lot of shiny polished metal details that tie the design together, and also here and there a pop of pink, which I love. If you remember how this room used to look 1 year ago, you will remember that it was a very classical red, white, and brown design. And it was super cool and I loved it, but I'm amazed with the transformation because today all of the walls have been colored in this dark, muted, dark green color that just sets the space in a very relaxed and grounded design. And what I absolutely love about this room is that you have this clash of the historic structure of the building with all of the modern pieces. For example, here there's a large fireplace that is made from one slab of marble and it looks absolutely incredible. And you can see all of the historic looking details and lines. And right on top of it, there's a super modern artwork placed within a stainless steel frame. And it just creates this very strong clash of the two worlds. And I just love the tension that comes from this design. The layout of the room still adheres to the classical history of the place. In the center, there is a fluffy brown carpet where a stainless steel chair is placed. And you can see that this room is quite minimal and it really focuses on what it's supposed to do, and that is that it's a place for listening to music. So there aren't too many unnecessary objects standing inside it, but it really is just for one person to come inside and listen and get lost in the incredible world of music. You can see that the same materials in different colors have been repeated throughout the house. And so over here we have sound absorbers in this dark, almost leather-like looking brown, and it just perfectly sets the moodiness of this place. Opposite on the wall, there's a large dark shelf standing that is filled with different records, so you can go around and just get lost in the collection of records. And there's also a lot of personal pieces from different musicians or different books, and you can just really see how the space is used day to day and how music is lived. Like any proper historic villa, there's also an outside terrace overlooking a large garden, and we can even see the Elbe from here, which is super rare, so there's just a lot to explore. Let me show you. So this entryway actually already leads us to the bedroom, which is a gorgeous room that has a bed as well as a desk. And as soon as you enter, you are just transported into this very soft, light, and warm color world. There's bits of orange, browns, and yellows, and it just has this very warm and heartfelt design. I absolutely love the two bedside tables. One is orange, one is brown, and they have this very modern but at the same time organic sculptural look, and it looks super cool. And of course, as you know, I always love it when design has some sort of tension. And in this room, it really is all of the modern furniture that comes alive and fills the historic walls with life. But at the same time, of course, I absolutely love all of the historic details. The ceilings are absolutely gorgeous with the historic paint, and there's some flowers painted on top. And you can just really get a feel for who used to live in these incredible walls and in this historic villa. The bathroom is a long, narrow space that is very minimalistic. The walls are white and there's a bunch of windows that let the outside flood in. And it's a very minimalistic Scandinavian design. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't seen the way that this historic villa used to look, you can go watch it up here. Definitely go and check out Dimi Vesos' YouTube channel on HiFi and a lot of other things.